Hey there, and welcome to The Fear Factor, the podcast that shines a light on real stories, smart strategies, and the occasional hard truth about running a business. Think of this as your quick dose of clarity before your first cup of coffee. Let's go. Today I have a huge guest, and I'm not talking necessarily about size, not this snotty Jennifer, but talk about somebody that has really been an inspiration. And I got to see her speak, and I'm just so pumped. Jennifer Cassetta, author, coach, black belts, badass. I don't know. I could go on and on. Thank you, Jennifer, for taking the time.
Warren, thank you for having me. I'm really honored to be here. It was so lovely to meet you at BizX and so many other cool action coach folks. I am a high performance coach now, but my journey has been long. And I would say it all started out about 25 years ago. Yeah, almost 26 years ago now. I stepped into a dojo for the first time and fell madly in love with a martial art called Hapkido. And it's a Korean style of martial art, and it's very mixed, if you will. If anyone out there is not familiar with it, it's not like one of the most popular ones, but it's a very mixed style where you're doing lots of self defense, arm locks, and yet you're still doing like kata and sparring, etc. So I felt really good. Started to feel like more powerful than I ever had been before. And that kind of was the start of this journey. Do you want me to tell the origin story?
So I think I got like I was been thinking about this for a while. I'm like, but I think it's just so critical to like who you are, and like the whole thing is just it's worth the time, put it that way.
Okay. So about a year into my training, I showed up to work one morning in New York City, 3 blocks south of the World Trade Center. And when I got out of the subway, I saw that there was black smoke coming out of the one of the towers. So I had no idea what had happened, and obviously very confused and scared. But I made my way over to my place of work, and the doorman wouldn't let me upstairs, but instead he said I can use the phone in the lobby. So I walk into the lobby. Thank God for timing, because within seconds the first tower
Hmm.
fell and like this swarm of people come rushing in. Phone goes flying out of my hands, and I get pushed into this like utility closet with a bunch of strangers and just totally shut down, like fear
Hmm.
paralysis. And yeah, and I mean the lovely part of the story is this woman came over to me and kind of put her hands on me and said like, "What's my name?" and she just helped me kind of break out of that paralysis. And she said, "You and I, we're gonna get out of here together." I'll never forget that
Wow.
moment. And yeah, I'll never forget her. Her name was
Hmm.
Nancy, and Nancy and I were evacuated from that building, so we ran for hours from building to building looking for a safe place until finally I had the idea that I could take Nancy to the dojo, the martial arts school I had been training at. And so we got there, covered in ashes and soot and probably shell shocked,
Yeah.
but that for the first time that day, I started to be able to relax. Not maybe not relax, but at least my nervous system was starting to regulate.
Hmm.
And I only figured it out looking back, obviously, that moment, it was just that turning point in my life that from then on took a completely different
Hmm.
direction. So instead of what I was doing before, which was meeting planning, event planning, working in restaurants, etc., now all of a sudden it was like all I wanted to do was go to that safe place, that dojo, sink my feet into the mat, sweat out all that PTSD, all these stress chemicals, just like release, start to feel powerful in my body again, make myself feel safe again,
Yes.
essentially. And I truly think, yeah, I truly think that it truly saved me from PTSD. And I don't think we talk about using our body enough when it comes to trauma healing. and or, right, if that doesn't relate to you, just feeling more empowered in your life in general. Like our bodies play such an important part in that. And I think they're, especially in the mindset work, we leave them out,
Yes.
you know? But it's like mind, body, spirit, all equally important, and we need to have ways to deal with them all on our journey. So anyway, long story short, I could digress. Um, I didn't have a job anymore, and I was just showing up to the dojo, and I started to ask myself questions like, how can I help other people feel more strong, more safe, more powerful, from the streets to the boardroom, from the inside out? That became a journey, and that was just that question was on repeat, kind of in the back of my brain. So at first the answers were become a personal trainer. Okay, I can do fitness. Sure, I can go to a gym and teach people to be fit. Use the martial arts when people were open to it. So I did. And then I started to go inward. So then became a health coach. Then became a nutritionist. And that was a 10-year period that I was building skills and on the mat and training clients to pay the bills for about 10 years before then taking it to another, well, state. I moved to California then. And then for the last 15 years, kind of turning it into more, instead of one to one to many. How can I spread this message to as many people as I can? So through different iterations, again, it came finally to the point where I was speaking, which was one of my big goals, speaking on stages and sharing the
Well,
message.
and I'll tell you what, you sure did a heck of a job in front of art. When you can get whatever we had, I don't know what we had there, 800 people or whatever, or 1,000 people, whatever it is, all standing up, doing moves with you, moves that most of them probably haven't done and maybe weren't even in shape to do. But getting them to do that, I took some video of it. It's just incredible, and it shows just kind of your power and the power of your kind of your story. And I think, like, first of all, shout out to Nancy wherever she is. And I think the first takeaway there is, hey, folks, do the little thing to help the person, and it was literally a life changer for you, right?
100%. And I think I said it on stage at the very end when I at BizX is like I'm still telling that story of her, that moment that she probably forgot about, or maybe not. It was a big day,
Yeah.
but she doesn't know I'm still telling her story 25 years later, and that's the kind of difference that you can make in someone's life. Just looking out for them, just holding your hand out for them, just asking somebody their name or checking in to make sure they're doing okay, you know? It's literally that simple sometimes to really change someone's
Isn't it
life.
true? Because I've run these big teams for a long time, and every time moved around the country a lot. And I'm gonna leave. It's kind of like going to your own funeral. So like they tell you stuff they wouldn't normally tell you, right? Because you're physically leaving and going to another state. And so you think it's the grandiose things and the big leadership things I did. No, it's the person that said, "Hey, remember the time I passed you in the hall and you said, 'Hey, look, how you doing?'" And I kind of shrugged, and then I said to them, "Hey, come into this office here. Let's talk about this. What's going on? What's going on with you?" That's the impactful. That's the big stuff.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, and I think there's so many opportunities to help someone out these days. There's just a lot going on in the world, and we can be better about that for our brothers and
So true.
sisters.
Okay, so and I can tell the other thing that's really palpable still is like you tell the story, but you get put your spot for just a little bit. Like it's still emotional, it's still powerful, and it's still like those critical events. Now, granted, lemonade out of lemons here, right? Like it's a total game changer, but that's still a moving time. So tell me, I want to talk about energy because I'm such a big what you said about energy and protecting your energy is so important. And the idea of using your enemy's energy against them or deflecting it, using their energy to deflect it, really stuck with me. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, absolutely. Gosh, where do I begin? We're all made of energy, right? Chi, ki, prana, depending on the language or the practice. But Eastern cultures have this whole idea of energy and systems to regenerate more of it, and yet here in the States, we barely have that as a concept. We're definitely not taught it. Again, unless you happen to find yourself in a yoga class or a martial arts school, it's not a topic of conversation. So I started to really get curious about it during my martial arts training, and now you can't escape it. Like, energy is everything. We are energy. So when I started to take the martial arts principles and then kind of tweak them for modern day living, or what I like to call mojo from the dojo, or ancient wisdom of the dojo for modern leaders, I started to think about boundary setting. That's a topic that comes up a lot. And and then started to think about it like, okay, well, in martial arts, that's a majority of what I learned was to
Hmm.
block incoming, punches and kicks and takedowns. Well, we can do that in life too. So we're being more proactive about protecting ourselves. So, but truly, like, I'm getting there, Warren, I promise.
No, this is great. I love it.
In everyday situations, you're not just defending your body. I mean, if we were that unsafe, this would be a very crazy, crazy world. But again, who knows, right? So it is about protecting your body, but more so, we're protecting our energy from negativity, from toxic people, from toxic places, from things that drain us of our power and or distract us from our
Yeah.
purpose. So especially the folks that you speak to that are out there right now, I know you're all goal oriented people. You have a clear vision of what you want your future to look like. So think about that right now and think about that vision. And then I like to put that vision out in front of me and then have like a string, like an imaginary string that pulls me forward toward it. And if I see or think of anybody that's pulling me off that direct line of my vision, that's where I have to start thinking, are these areas where I can do some good boundary setting or boundary tightening? Because then there's the whole conversation about different boundary types of boundary setting, and it's like it's not always a hard no. It's not always get out of my life, I never want to see you again. A lot of times boundary setting is you can have access to my energy, but here's how much of it and when.
Yeah.
And that's what I really love for people to get clear on, is like, how much of your energy are you willing to give to whom and when? So it's really about discernment around your
Yeah, I
energy.
like that a lot. And I think, I've interviewed people before and business owners and people that have really scaled. And I had this gentleman, and he had to literally limit his time with some of his family members because they didn't see his vision. Now, that doesn't mean they never saw him again. And there was a period of time when he had
Right.
to actually, he's achieved the progress he wanted to achieve, and now he can, kind of get some of those folks back in his life. But he literally he had to fire some of his family members for a period of time. I think
Yeah.
that's what you're talking about. Not necessarily that it has to be your family, and I'm not suggesting that people do that. But and the other thing I would say here, I think from a business owner perspective, when you think about energy, the stuff we love uh, gives us energy. That's the stuff. If we can do that and it fits in our vision, then it's beautiful. If it's stuff that takes our energy and it's easy to delegate, and as we're moving towards our vision, that's the stuff we want to get rid of. Correct?
Oh, Warren, please coach me on delegation, please. I'm a work in progress, and I'm really trying hard to delegate more. This morning I spent an hour editing a reel for Instagram, and I'm like, I should not be doing this. This is taking my energy. It's not fun for me. Why am I still doing this? So, thank you for the reminder.
That's hilarious. I was literally just on a call with Rebecca, my person. She helps me with my podcasts and my digital marketing, and a bunch of this other stuff. I'm like, it's taking me too long to sign into this stupid account to give you access, and it's like, Oh, it drives me nuts, and I hate dealing with computer stuff. So I'm with you. Like, get rid of this stuff and let somebody that's better at it than you are,
Yeah.
faster at it than you are, and likes it. Get rid of that stuff.
And but I think you nailed the problem is sometimes it takes a long time to offload those chores, so we wind up putting it
Yeah,
off. Oh, I'll just do it myself. Oh, I'll just do it myself. And when we're talking about energy, that is certainly an energy drainer. Things that don't bring you joy, that don't feel like taking aligned action, and something that someone can be better at than you.
that's yeah, it's true. And I tell my folks, it's like, look, folks, when you're delegating this task, because that's the excuse that people have. I'm going to use excuse. Sorry, but like it's true.
Yep.
You get a negative return on time investment the first time. Like the first time you teach them how to do this is a negative 2x, and then it's a negative 1x because
Right.
I could have done it faster myself. But by the fifth time, it's positive 2x, positive 4x, and then it's like your return on investment is infinite because you don't have to do jack around with that stuff anymore, right?
So smart. Yes. And I have a call tomorrow with a potential VA. So thank
Nice, I
you.
love it. Okay, so I got to ask you about this. So I love people that follow their kind of their. I mean, you are taking some direction from your gut, and all of a sudden you're not doing this one job. Now, granted, it wasn't available anymore, but you go from this. You're in this. In this dojo, and you're learning. You're getting your third black belt, and you're realizing fitness and all this other stuff. How do you know? How do you know? Did you just go with it? Like, what was your kind of your cues?
Back early
Yeah.
on. So yeah, September 11th, I was probably like an orange belt, which is like low, low, low. I was not anywhere near black belt level yet. My cues were, wow, that's a great question. I started to just have conversations with people and say, like, I just remember having a conversation with this one person at a gym. I guess I had already gotten to the part of like connecting the dots that what I love about martial arts is, the fitness piece, the health piece. I grew up like that. My dad was a martial
Oh,
artist
okay.
and a health nut. Yeah, like so in the 70s he was like eating brewer's yeast and cod liver oil and running. Like people didn't run, you know?
Why would I run? There's no fire.
Exactly. So he was just like ahead of the curve on all of that. And entrepreneur, listening to Tony Robbins cassette tapes, like the whole thing. So
Nice.
I picked it up from him. I'm not going to like say, oh, I had this great idea, but I got into the martial arts. So then, yeah, so then I said, well, let me see if I can become a personal trainer. So I called a guy at a gym and he said, oh, and I said, this is, sorry, now I got the cue or the clue, I guess, to get me there was I now have this skill of martial arts. What can I do in the outside world that could make me money? And I said, well, in the meantime, before I figure it out, I can become a kickboxing teacher.
Really?
So I went to a gym.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And the teacher said, or sorry, and the gym manager said, like, why don't you just become a personal trainer? You'll make more money and blah blah blah, and we'll pay for your certification. So I was like, okay, look, I don't. My advice, I followed my gut, but all I did was say yes to opportunities that arose. Now looking back, obviously, I knew I had intention, and I believe that we are all creators of our life. So I was unconsciously creating the next opportunity, and when it arose, I would say yes. And then I would say yes again. And then someone would say, "Oh, there's this health coaching program." And if my eyes lit up and, I got really excited about it, I'd go, well, okay. First question I'd have back then would be like, well, how much is it going to cost me? Oh my God, what am I going to do? Where am I going to get the
Hmm.
money? And then I just figured out this thing of like opening up a 0% interest card, putting it on there, having 18 months to pay it off, and working my ass off until I did. And then it was like the next certification or whatever. So so I watch people who have had like very well thought out plans for their career. And I'm like, wow, that's amazing. That wasn't my story.
No, but you also had to take some risk and have some belief in yourself and what you loved and what you were passionate about. And that's the kind of the common thread in most business ownership stories I hear is like, you know what, I feel this is right. I've got some good advice from people. I'm going to take a risk and step out. I'm just going to
Hmm.
just fricking go after it and crush until I and grind until I hit it, right?
Yes. And again, lucky enough, I'll go back to my dad. He was an entrepreneur. I saw that. So I had an idea what that could look like for myself in my own path. He was in real estate, but it is a certain mindset and you have to develop that muscle. And luckily, I had some good tools, or at least paths to follow. And then I started to get really deep into self development work, personal development work.
So we talk about mindset a lot, and I think about it a lot, and especially for people that are trying to do something new or accomplish a new goal or drive a business or whatever or themselves. How do you stay in a positive mindset? Like, because that's so critical.
Where do I begin? We begin in the
Hey, I
morning
like it.
because it's a new day every day.
Yeah.
And every morning, I mean, so my routine is like I'll share my routine, but then my I don't have like blanket advice for people. I have like you have to do X, Y, and Z. I give people like a menu of options on how to build their positivity routines or their
Hmm.
morning routines. But it really, if you want maximum effect, it starts in the morning. Starts the minute that you
Hmm.
open your eyes. And most of us will grab our phones and start doom scrolling through headlines. And it's like, oh my,
I'm
I
screwed
mean,
already.
I have like it's so
Yes.
bad, right? But if you can start your morning off positive with a few different practices or even one
Hmm.
practice, you're setting your state for, if not the whole day, at least a few
Yes.
hours in the morning, right? So I meditate for a half hour and then I have a journal practice where I'll just write page, one full page of affirmative
Ah.
speak. And all that means is that either I start with an anchor sentence, so I coach people to just like choose a sentence that just starts the writing process. So it could be a quote that you love, it could be a passage from a sacred text, it could be anything. It could be, anything that you just like recite as your first sentence and then let it flow. But my rule is it's not like, oh, dear diary, this shitty thing happened yesterday. You can't put anything negative, right? It's not your sixth grade journal. It is it is only in the affirmative. So I speak to my future self. I speak my future. I write I am sentences. I
Hmm.
write what I'm becoming. I write who I am, all in the affirmative until I get to the end of the page. And so it is. It is done. Amen. That's
Wow.
how I start.
Wow. So like I like that you say pretty casually, well, I meditate for 30 minutes. I don't know that I don't know, man. That seems hard to not have your mind wander.
Trust me, I said that exact statement for the last 20 years until about 2.5 years ago.
Yeah. And then you started.
I went from like, no, I mean, I was meditating, but I went from about 12 minutes to 30.
Wow. And you have like a guidance on that? Like how?
I mean, how for me was I went to a Dr. Joe Dispenza 7-day retreat and we meditated for about 5 hours a day. So when I got home, I was like, oh, this 12-minute thing is not going to cut it. Like, I can do far longer than that. And I truly what it was is I saw the benefits of if I gave myself more time, I just felt like I was able to go
Nice.
deeper.
Well, and I think that's just it. There has to be a benefit, like the idea of clearly you invested in a thing that in a retreat. I'm sure that wasn't free, but the idea was that there's an ROI, and the ROI in this case was protecting your mind and spirit and like getting your head in the right place on a day-to-day basis. And then that energy, because people talk, I'm sure they say this to you all the time, and thankfully people say it to me too, believe it or not. It's like, I love your energy, and that's, it's got to come from somewhere, right?
Yes, yes. What's your morning practice?
Doom scroll. No, no, good question. I usually will do not near that regimented, but I like to usually get up and do a little bit of prayer at least, and some
Mm-hmm.
exercise of some sort, some stretching, and
Mm-hmm.
I get my head in the right place at least, and then of course I got to take my dog out to pee because that's part of the deal too. And
Yep.
yeah, and then
Yep.
what I try to do on the way to work, when I go to the office, is do the I am positive I am statements, you know, because I think those are really
Awesome.
powerful. I learned those with in Action Coach, but I
Yes.
think I think saying them out loud is really
Oh,
powerful,
good.
right?
Yes. Yes. So in my upcoming book, it won't be out until early next year, but there's a whole chapter on this. So I'm just going to give your folks here a little preview on building your, what I call your morning mojo routine. And I talk about three P's of it. The first P is
Mm,
presence. So any practice, anything, could be prayer, could be meditation, could just be breathing to get you centered in the present moment, right? That's it. Again, that could be three
mm,
minutes if you're one of those people that are like, I don't have time, blah blah blah. Do you have 3 minutes? Because you can
yes.
do that. The second P is
Mm,
positivity. So that's where it's like the positive mindset. How am I going to keep myself positive or at least get into a positive vibration? Again, it could be movement, it could be listening to a podcast like this, reading a book, journaling,
yes.
right? Could be a lot of things. And then the third, at some point, doesn't have to be right away, and these things don't even have to be stacked, but having protein to stabilize your blood
Nice.
sugar. So those are the
I'm
three
glad you put
things.
food in there. I'm all into that. You know, the people that don't eat before they start their day, I'm like, I'd be hangry by, I don't even know, like within an hour. Gotta get everything moving, right? Like, let's go. So
Yeah. Some. I mean, I'm a late breakfast eater, but at some point I have to have that
yes,
third P. Or yes, I'm going to be spacey and not
yeah,
centered.
and caffeine doesn't start with P, so I guess we can't use that one. So I'll skip that. Okay. So tell me about, because your first. I mean, I love the title of your book. First, when you think about the art of badassery, how did you come up with badassery? Because I mean, doesn't everybody have a little bit of that they want to be? Tell me about that.
100%. Everybody already is. That's the thing. My job is just to remind
Nice.
you of it and to give you a little bit of a framework to fine tune it. And that's all the art of badassery is a 7 step framework that where I use martial arts as a metaphor for that framework. Yeah, I can give like little points,
Well, I
like a
think you
little
got seven, don't
cheat
you?
sheet.
I don't know if you want to do seven, but you can if you want. It's. I love to hear. There's so much wisdom here, and I guess this to me is very practical stuff that it may sound out there, but if you actually put this stuff into practice, you'll be more successful, I believe.
I well, thank you, because I believe that too.
That's good because it is your book, so that is helpful.
Yeah, I stand behind it. Um, no, but white belt and yellow belt I can talk about combined because they're really about building
Mm,
resilience. And if you think about doing anything in the beginning, like being a white belt in martial arts, getting on the mat for the first time, getting hit for the first time, getting taken down for the first time, learning all the protocol, blah, blah, blah. It's like building a business for the first time.
yes.
Like you are going to do hard things and it's going to be difficult and you're going to fail and you're going to fall down and it's all part of the process. So white and yellow is really about that learning to accept that it's challenging and then learning how to bounce back when you do get taken down. So that's yellow belt. Bouncing back. Do we pivot? Do we brace for impact? Do we, reach out to other folks or get a coach when we need support? And or do we, sometimes when life takes us out and knocks us down for good, it's never for good, but we have to make an ultimate comeback and rise from the ashes, right? That's the kind of last bit of that. Orange belt is about blocking or boundary setting, which we all kind of already
Yes.
talked about. Green belt is about the powerful noise that martial arts use, called a kiap or kiai if you're doing Japanese karate. And this is about, the power of our voice, what we say outwardly, but more importantly, what we say to ourselves. And again, we kind of also address that by these I am statements, affirmations, how we speak to
Oh, I have
ourselves.
to interrupt you there, though, because thank you for that,
Yeah.
because that's a great prompt. I remember you talking about the negativity and the negative thoughts and the preponderance of negative thoughts. I forget the stats, but can you just speak to that really quick because it's so powerful?
Yeah, this is from Psychology Today that the average person has anywhere from 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts per day. And out of those, they say about 80% of them are
Ugh.
negative. Now, this is based, yeah, it's crazy to think about. And again, sometimes you look up the origin of these stats and you can't really find an exact study, but then they talk about the brain's default network, which is basically a negativity bias. We all have like a negativity bias in our brains, which when we were cave people, it was very helpful, right? It kept us
Yes.
safe because we focused on the threats or possible threats. But today, right, if you're building a business or a family or just marching towards success in your life, always focusing on the negative is not going to really move the needle too much, yeah?
Yes. Yeah, 100%. And you know that if so the idea of replaying some positive stuff back and back and back to your brain is perfectly logical and definitely needed. Otherwise, you're just going to go down in negativity.
Completely. You'll just focus on that one thing and then our brains will start to look for backup. So whatever you tell
Ah,
it, right, it will start to look for proof of that. So if you're telling it you're a failure or this never works out for you or there's no way this is going to happen, then it will start to look for proof from your past and say, yeah, remember that time you failed then and then and then and then. Yeah, you are a big loser, so why bother
your
trying?
brain is just like the social media algorithm. It's like if you're looking for stuff that
Yes,
is really left or really right and you keep searching that stuff, it'll just keep producing that stuff. It's the same thing.
that is brilliant. Absolutely. Right on
True.
target.
Okay, so that's four. You got three more though, right? Five, six, seven.
Yeah. Blue belt is about energy, the chi that, so we already kind of touched on that as well. So it's really about like self-care practices to help you generate more chi and also to recognize where are your energy drains. So that's kind of like an energy audit,
Nice,
if you will.
nice.
Yeah. And then red belt level is about mindfulness. So the act of actually slowing down to be more productive. And I think this is where entrepreneurs tend to not want to believe that this is
Yes.
true, say that they don't have time for these practices. They just want to go, 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 go. But when you're so overwhelmed and busy, I think this is where we make mistakes. We're stressed out, right? If you're constantly running in this stress mode, part of the autonomic nervous system, the parasympathetic nervous system is turned on. That means stress chemicals are pumping through your body constantly. if they have nowhere to go, if you're not, if your body constantly feels like it's under threat, then parts of your brain start to
Hmm.
shut off. The logical part
Yeah.
of your brain, the prefrontal cortex, right? So if we do have these practices in our life, like mindfulness, stress reduction techniques could be your meditation there, journaling, etc., some of the things we already mentioned, or just relaxing, like taking
Yeah.
me time, turning off your phone, like whatever it is, walking your dog, petting my cats, like stuff that really recenters you. You make less mistakes, right? Because if you're busy, 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 go, da, 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 you make mistakes more quickly. But if you're more relaxed, you'll make less mistakes. Your intuition will have I like to think of your intuition as like, if you think of like a highway between your gut and your brain, which would be the vagus nerve. But I don't know how the vagus nerve and intuition are really connected. I don't know if they are. I'm
I
just
got you.
saying. I just feel like it's more open,
Yeah.
right? I think of like cars like being able to go versus getting stuck in traffic. So so that's an open channel. Therefore, when you're in touch with your really in touch with your intuition, you could hear the messages clearly. Well, then, I mean, it's just like hitting green lights, right? Like you're nudged to go a certain way, you're you're pulled away from certain people, you're, have a clear guidance system, a GPS for your life.
Yeah, and
And that,
it's got to like that. It's so necessary, and the slow down to speed up, or take time for yourself, or mindfulness, or however you want to phrase it or capture it. I absolutely, again, when I had all these employees, it would be like, look, dude, when you go on vacation, you got vacation time. So I want you to go on vacation. At least a week of it has to be, meaning leave on Friday and no cell phone, at least for work. And then the following 9 days later, or 10 days later on Monday, that's when you can plug back in. And if you can't do that, then we're not doing our job, and you haven't taught your team right. And the other thing I remember very clearly is the chart. Like the chart, when anger is high or emotions are high, brain capacity almost nothing, right? So it's an X, right? So if you got to have high
yeah,
brain capacity, then you got to have less anger and less stress and all those things. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to come up with the most creative solutions to problems.
yes, creativity gets shut down exactly when you're stressed.
Yes.
And we need to be
Yeah, I mean
creative.
that's like, look, you can say AI is great and all, but AI has no soul and it has no creativity. All it does is regurgitate, and now regurgitating actually more crap because AI is putting more crap into the ethos, or I don't know, atmosphere. So more crap is coming back through AI as truth. Completely off
Right?
topic, but
I
anyway.
know.
All right, so number 7.
Well, seven is black belt level.
Yes.
So or black belt level is about being a leader, but being the type of leader who helps other people rise up through the ranks as well. So this was in direct relation to the learnings of my martial arts teaching, which is, as I was coming up, through the ranks, I would watch these other black belts. A lot of women in my dojo, they were so fierce. I mean, I would never mess with them. Like these women really were amazing. And I'd be like, "Oh my God, like that's what it's going to be like when I'm there. I'm going to be able to like take someone down." Or, I would watch their sword forms, whatever it was. And what I realized is before you're even qualified to test for black belt in my school, I know every school is different. You had to volunteer to teach 100
Wow.
hours. So that's 100 classes that you would have to teach before you were even considered a black belt candidate. So that, I think, probably was my biggest lesson was getting on the mat and teaching people. I had started obviously before. I was teaching classes before I got to like red belt level, but that's what changed my life. That's what shaped me into the person I am. That's what gave me leadership skills and truly skills on how to coach people and meet people where
Mm,
they're at and then help them from there because when you're in front of a class like that, you know everyone is at a different starting level and everybody in your class is also a different belt
mm.
level. So and everyone has different physical capacities and learns different ways, right? Some people are audio or visual or
Mm.
kinesthetic learners. Like I just learned all that kind of stuff, which is so cool and important when you're dealing with people, when you're coaching people and speaking to
So
people.
important. Okay, thank you for that. Okay, so now you've obviously been very successful, and I can't wait to see what you do next. And your next book comes out, and that's awesome. So tell me, in this path, is there one thing that you were like, because we all learn from our mistakes, is there one thing that you're like, golly,
Mm.
if I could have done this differently, or if I could share this with somebody
Mm.
as I was on this journey, is there something that comes to mind?
I mean, in general, I would just say, Warren, like it's take it. I think when I look at my journey, it's been a slow burn. And
I love it.
no, I mean it. I really mean it. And again, then you go, well, would I change anything? I don't know. I sure I would have liked to gotten here more
Mm.
quickly, but and I'm sure people will again with the tools with AI. And I started out when there wasn't even social media. So like I had to go through different iterations. I don't know what I would have done different. Maybe it's like simple things like getting a a virtual assistant sooner.
Very fair.
You know?
What?
Otherwise, all of it, all of the mistakes and failures. Mostly what I deal with the most is
Uh,
rejections. And there's nothing really I can do about that other than just keep trying. So I get ghosted and I get rejections constantly. And it just makes it that much more exciting when I get a yes.
That's a good attitude. That's so true. In corporate, it's one thing you lose $1 million, you make $1 million, like it hurts and whatever. But when it's your own business and it's you, and it's just, you might make $10 and it might be bigger than making 1 million in some cases, right? Because I got to
Yeah.
win, and that's
Yeah.
and the rejection can feel the same way too. It's not personal, but it can feel that way.
Well, well, I was just gonna say, yeah, when you're selling yourself, I'm selling myself on a stage. I'm not just selling
Yes.
widgets. So when people reject me, they're rejecting me, not my widgets.
Yeah, there's nobody to blame. You can just point at yourself, right? That's true. They're just not ready for you yet. That's what I would say. They just can't handle you yet.
I like that, Warren. That's what I'm
Yeah,
using
you
going
you can
forward.
have it. Okay, so I got to be
They're
cognizant.
just not
Oh, go
ready.
ahead.
I said
They're
they're
not
just not
ready for
ready.
you. They're not there yet. So, okay. All right, three quick questions and I'll let you go. Thank you so much for your time. Uh, First question.
Yeah.
These are very serious, by the way. If you're an animal, what kind of
Mm.
animal would you be?
Cheetah is coming to my
Nice.
mind. I know there's a different answer
What do you
though,
mean?
but oh, a
Oh,
German Shepherd
okay. A cheetah.
because I have hip dysplasia.
That's that's really, and at the San Diego Zoo, they have the dog. I don't think it's German Shepherd. It's like a lab. They have the lab run with the cheetah. They have the lab run by first, and the lab is like the cheetah's friend. And then the lab
Uh-huh.
runs through the thing first, and he's going whatever 20 miles an hour, and then the cheetah comes through. Holy crap! So I like that. So
Mm.
cheetah,
Okay. I'll
yeah,
switch it.
yeah, cheetah. Okay,
Cheetah.
okay, all right. Next question. What do you want to be when you grow up?
Mm. I want to be an owner of a B&B, not an Airbnb, but like a little bed and breakfast in Italy somewhere.
Oh, that sounds awesome. Totally doable too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. You'd be a good host. Can you make
Yeah.
some breakfast if I need some breakfast over there, or is you more of a wine and cheese kind of person?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Both.
good, good. Okay. Yeah,
Aperitivo is my favorite, so wine, cheese,
that's
and
beautiful.
snacks.
Okay, awesome. And then the last question,
Hmm.
what do you want to be remembered for?
Helping people feel more steady and grounded during turbulent times.
That's great. Yeah, the calm in the storm, it's a big thing. It's a
Yeah.
big thing. It's that big thing.
I don't know if I've ever been that, but I'm working towards it.
Well, I think you've given people some really great tools to be able to do that, and I'm sure your husband and your cats probably. I don't know about the cats, but the husband would definitely agree with that. So hey, look, Jennifer Cassetta is C. It's with a Cassetta. In case anybody is wondering and they're not watching and they're just looking
Mm.
or listening, you want to learn how to be the art of badassery. You want to learn how to use your body and your movement and energy and all those things. You're doing a great thing. You got another book coming out. I don't know if you know the title or can say the title or how that all works, but if you want to share that, you can.
Absolutely. It's called Secrets of the Sensei, so look out for that in February 2027. And on Instagram, if you want, I just started something called Sensei Sundays, where I'm teaching like short 15-minute to 20-minute classes for free. So on Instagram at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, and then or you could just see the replays. But essentially, it's to do what like to help people feel more steady and grounded, shake out negative emotions, and feel powerful to reset for the week.
Sensei Sundays, and it's free on Instagram. That's amazing. Hey
Mm-hmm.
Jennifer, thank you so much. I
Yeah.
really appreciate you. I just was looking forward to this, and it's been everything that I, minus my failures on the microphone, it's been everything that I've envisioned.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Warren, and thank you everyone for listening. And please reach
Cheers.
out. Cheers.
Jennifer Cassetta, powerful, thoughtful, inspirational, motivational, and all about mindset and energy. Protect our energy, project our energy to do the right things, have the right mindset. We can crush it, and then take care of people in the world. Uh, Lots of wisdom there. Check out her book. The Badassery book is a good one. Just Google Badassery, it'll come up. Check out her free thing she's doing, Sensei Sunday, on Instagram, and check out her next book coming out too. Thankful to have interviewed her, and I hope our paths cross again. She's a killer.
Liked what you heard? Let's make it real. Schedule your free coaching session today at sugarland.actioncoach.com.